If you'd like to see how I change this anemic, underperforming light into this beautiful, highly functional light with independent reading lights, independent ambient light, and full charging stations, USB, 4 of them, with LED readout of the batteries in my camper. Watch this video. Charlie Cushane here, Chip and Charlie, here to do another truck camper mod. I'm standing in front of my Chalet double slide truck camper, and today I'm going to do an interior lighting modification. So let's go take a look inside. Welcome inside my truck camper. It has an island in the middle, and over here on the left is the dinette, which I've modified. But the one thing I've never been happy about is the lighting. And it's a little anemic. And my wife complains it doesn't give enough light when she wants to read a book or something. And it has no USB charging ports. So today we're going to change all that. Stay tuned. Okay, the first thing we have to do is take this light down. And I want to be careful taking it down because I want to reuse it. It's actually a very nice looking light. It just doesn't have enough output for reading and things like that. It's good for like an ambiance, but not for really a task light. So let's take it down. There it is. Simple cut there and we're on our way. Okay, yesterday I took a long piece of wood, oak, 3/4 inch oak, and glued it up and put it into this shape. Nice block. And what this is going to do is mount the 4 USB ports. It's going to go in here, but I'm also going to want it on the 45-degree angle, so I have to drill a bunch of holes in here to accept all these cylinders from the switches and the wiring. So I got to start laying out and drilling holes in this block. So let's get started. Okay, now I'm going to stick the controller in from the front, so all the wires have to go from here to here to here, so I have to cut out this middle section. There we go. Now the big cylinders can fit in and the wires can run across. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to start laying out the main mounting board. And of course we got this piece all done, into which the 2 USB ports with the on-off switch. That's going to go, I think, sort of like this on the edge. And then these 2 LED adjustable lights will go on either side. So that's sort of what I want to start laying out next. Okay, once again, to put a full radius here, I went to the cupboard and I found a glass that was exactly what I was looking for. Perfect. There we go. Perfect. Ready to router. Okay, my goal today is to lay out where all these, to hold this piece suspended above it or below it. I'm going to use these nicely turned spindles I got. They're about 6 inches long, maybe 5 inches when you get to the actual tenon. And I plan on putting these all around like this. And then I can slip in pieces, my phone and stuff in here to charge. So these will go right on there. Now I have to do at the same time the other piece. Same radius. There we go. So these spindles will go right on there. Okay, now to drill the right size hole. Wow, that went great. So far, that's half of it to get my hole all the way through. It didn't break out anywhere. That's the impressive part. Now from the other direction. Alright, now to sand it. Now it's time to glue it together. 5 pegs, 5 holes. There we go. All glued up. Now we have to let it dry. Sweet. Okay, the next thing to do is to glue this piece in. Okay, I think that's all glued. Now we let that dry for a while. Perfect. Okay, now it's ready to start doing some finishing. But the first thing you have to do to get a good finish is use a tack cloth. These you can get at Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. But it's a sticky like cloth that'll pick up any dust. Any dust you may have, or sanding, that sawdust. It's just good to go around everything. Try to get it all. You'll never get 100%, but you get quite a bit. Okay, now to stain it. And I am using Minwax Ipswich Pine, which I find, at least for my camper, it matches the camper pretty good. You got to keep it stirred. And I do all sides, top, back. Start with the bottom. Perfect. Now I let that dry for a few hours. Then I can start polyurethaning. Okay, now it's time for the first coat of polyurethane. And as always, we start on the bottom. And I'm using Helmsman spar urethanes, indoor and outdoor. So good for a camper. That's what I used on my other projects. Now we let it dry. And we can give it a couple more coats. Perfect. I see no runs or drips. Now that the polyurethaning is done, there'll be a light on this bottom surface. So what I have to do is pull a wire. As you can see, it goes through this hole I have at an angle, down through this post, through here, through this post, comes out this other side. So now I'm pulling a small wire with the hopes of getting this double wire that's much bigger through there, and this will power the light on this side. So I'm not sure how this will work. And that's a good start. Oh, I got it! Thankfully. So now I have the big wire through this little post and coming out the other side, and this will hook up with the 12-volt power from the camper, and this will turn on a separate light right here. Okay, I have all the wires run for the lights here, the two side eyeball lights. For the light at the bottom, as you can see here, there's two wires. And these are for the main power for the whole light. That'll go into the ceiling, So I'm just going to do a little hot melt glue here. Sort of just hold these in place. Okay, one of the last things I can do before I put this in is actually mount these gauge or the USB ports in this cavity, and these are already wired in the back, so now I just have to get it mounted in here. I guess it's easier to do it here than when I'm upside down in the camper. There we go. So now I just got to put a few screws in, and of course when you're screwing into oak, nothing's better than a candle and putting a little wax on the screws to enable them to go in easier. Okay, now I want to mount this old light on the bottom of this so I can keep that nice ambient light. Okay, all we have to do is wire it. And then, of course, the glass dome. There we go. It's ready to put up. And of course, as you can see, the switch is going to be toward the front, so I can turn this light on and off if I want it. Okay, now to wire this. Okay, now we're going to put it up. Get all these wires in. So it's flat. Okay. Okay, you got it? Okay, right there. You got it? Mm-hmm. Okay, now at least an initial test. We'll turn the power on. That looks good. And if we want this light, perfect. So far, so good. Okay, I have the lights all wired. These are, and now it's time to mount them. Okay, let's put this. There we go. Sweet. Okay, here's the finished project. As you can see, it's all wired, put up. The way it works, you can do anything you want independently. Like you want to just have this ambient light, you can do that. If you want to have some reading lights, you can do them independently. My wife reads, she can have just that one on, or I can have this one on, all independently turned off with switches. Or if you want to charge a phone or anything else, these USB ports are now powered. And all you have to do is plug in your device, like my phone. There we go. It sits right there. Or, let's say I want to charge my Osmo Pocket camera. You just plug that in. There we go. Everything's charging. Perfect. So, you can do it with the lights, without the lights. Everything stays charging. Works fantastic. It's a huge success.